Former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani, not testifying in his defamation damages trial over how much to pay to Georgia election workers, even after his lawyer repeatedly said that he would take the stand. This week, an 8-person jury in Washington, D.C. heard some gut-wrenching testimony from Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and her daughter, Shay Moss. Giuliani has already been found liable for defaming the mother and daughter. He also owes them more than $230,000 for failing to respond to parts of their lawsuit as well.